On the 12th of December 2024, 18-year-old Grandmaster Gukesh Dommaraju of India was crowned the 18th World Champion.
What?
Let's rewind the tapes back to April.
You can still go, even when you feel slow, you can still go, even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go, 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 go.
This time around, the candidates drew a lot of attention from people all over the world. First of all, Magnus was not playing because frankly he's just too good.
I would say under the current format there is absolutely no chance, so I think everybody should just operate under the assumption that I will not play the candidates.
And secondly, there were 5 Indians playing in the tournament, which included 3 men in the open section. This was the first time an Indian had qualified for the candidates since Vishy Anand. The stakes couldn't be any higher. You win the tournament, you get a shot at the World Championship. The first day was pretty uneventful. Everyone made a draw. Now this is especially interesting because it gives us some insight into the player's mindset. A total of 5 of these guys were playing in their first candidates ever. So, they're nervous, they're trying to settle down. And so we didn't see anything too crazy on day 1.
Fake it till you make it A, and if you play that game, then you just might make a change.
He sacrifices a third! What? That's so ridiculous! He straight up gave him 3 pawns!
Not e6, third pawn sacrifice. Can he not count Pragnananda?
Prag used a very ambitious idea in the opening to sacrifice a pawn to go e5, e6, pushing back Gukesh's pieces and disrupting his coordination. But Gukesh held his defenses and fought back.
He just tries to focus and finds the best move. Bishop c5, attacking the queen. Queen moves, f2 is hanging. Very low on time. Bishop takes e6 played. He takes on f2. He takes rook takes f2. A fantastic move there. And now there's no way to save this game.
Now in a double round robin like the candidates, which lasted around 3 weeks, getting a win as early as round 2 is a huge confidence booster. In fact, 3 of the guys who won on day 2 finished the tournament in the top 3. And especially for Gukesh, it played a huge role in his preparation for the rest of the games. Game 3 and 4 were pretty similar in the sense that they just traded everything and went home. This was still a pretty good result for Gukesh considering his opponents. He was at the top of the standings. Yes, it was too early to be looking into it, but it was a promising start nonetheless. Also, the rest day was approaching, which helped him conserve his energy and come back stronger for day 5. And come back stronger did he.
More queens appearing on the board momentarily. Pawn endgame. Uh-oh. Oh, king f.
Gukesh is winning if he finds queen c5 check.
Queen f5, queen 15 here, check. Queen blocks, gives another check here. Very, very smart decision there. Gukesh gets up from the table. He knows he's winning. This is all psychology at play. It's easy. Gukesh shakes hands and he moves into the lead of the tournament with 3.5 out of 5.
With a second win under his belt, Gukesh had joined the leaders once again and was dominating the tournament. Game 6 was another solid draw from Gukesh. With that, he maintained his joint lead in the standings. Game 7 marked the halfway point of the tournament. Gukesh was paired against Alireza Firouzja, who was not having a great tournament. It seemed like the perfect opportunity for Gukesh to capitalize on Alireza's shaky form and apply pressure even with the black piece. But here's the thing about Alireza. He's a bit of a wild card. You can never truly count him out. He's one of those online chess monsters who thrives in chaos and time pressure. You give him a mouse and you give him 20 seconds on the clock and peeled straight into pieces. It's that ferocious instinct that came alive when it mattered most to find the right moves at the right moments with seconds on the clock. The game had started in Gukesh's favor. He had outplayed an eraser and even held a winning position. For a moment, he was unstoppable, ruthless, dominant. But then, his position had collapsed into chaos. Gukesh had faltered, missing his chances to convert, and before anyone could process what had happened, the tables had turned.
My name is D. Gukesh. I'm from India and I'm 12 years old.
I want to become the youngest world chess champion.
You want to become the youngest world chess champion, yeah?
If I'm at my absolute best, I have every chance of winning the event.
Game 8 was something else. Gukesh played A6 and H6, and for a moment somewhere in New York, Levy fell out of his chair because this was Guess the Elo.
Or how a beginner plays. You know, when you first learn chess, the most common too was like A3 and H3 because they're afraid to push pawns in the center. But
Pure savagery. Immediately taking on B. Doesn't even think. Goes to A5, takes the entire A file, and at this point the game is over.
I can't find a move. It's easy to shout from the sidelines. So why isn't he making a move? He doesn't see a move. He's basically in Zugzwang.
Gukesh took Vidit's king out on a nice little walk and ended the game in style with checkmate on the board.
Queen G3 is mate, so you gotta go back. Rook F1 threatens Rook F4 and Rook F5 and G5 and Queen G3. Gukesh sacrifices the rook, gives a check, plays Knight H7, and this is mate.
With an amazing comeback win, Gukesh was back to leading the tournament. Around the same time, all the Indian players seemed to be bringing their A game. Everyone desperate to win and move up in the standings.
And look at Vidit Gujarati. Here comes his queen. He's picking it up, and there it is to F5. That should do the trick. I love the way he's played this game, and I think that he's handling everything with the utmost professionalism. Judith, this just feels like Hikaru is going to play maybe 2 more moves. You see it on his face.
This is what the standings looked like. By the end of Game 9, Gukesh was tied with Napoleonshi for first place. Anyone all the way up to Caruana was still in the fight. Anyone in the top 6 could still win the tournament. Maybe it will go to tie breaks. You couldn't really tell. Round 10 was a very interesting matchup. Fabiano went all guns blazing with Rook G1.
He actually allows Alireza to give up his queen and then pin him. He actually loses the game immediately from the opening.
And ultimately, Caruana won that game. This was a very important win for Fabi to propel him up the standings. Hikaru also went nuts.
And from the opening, it was Hikaru who enjoyed a time advantage.
In a very topsy-turvy game, he managed to get the best of Abaso and earn 1 full point. This played a very important role in the standings.
This is round number 11 out of 14. Including this round, there are 4 rounds to go. Time is ticking, and it is a very close race.
Round 11 was crazy, with 3 decisive results. Gukesh made a draw with Fabiano, but everyone else came to fight.
So, the game starts with the move d4. Now, after knight to f3, I play knight f6, and he plays move c4. And now we get the first big surprise with this move c5. Now,
it's a very big moment in this game now, and Prague has to fight back, but he's right there. He fights back. Best move on the board. Prague plays king e3, so he's gonna win the pawn back in the center as well. And he went very forward. His king's in the center, but why, watching this with no eval bar is a very different thing than watching it with an eval bar.
White has 2 pawns for the piece, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The black...
And he completely steamrolled Pragnanandam. On the other hand, Nepo was facing with it. And although it was a very complicated endgame, Black made his way all the way down the board.
But Nepo is very calm here and plays king e4, and there you see it. After fighting immensely hard, after fighting like a lion, Vidit Gujarati now has lost the game. The emotions are there on the screen for us to see.
This loss basically ruled him out of the tournament. It was clear that this was pretty much a must-win game for Gukesh. Gukesh played a very up and down game but managed to clinch his victory against Abaso. Hikaru, coming from a 2-game winning streak, rolled up his sleeves, pulled up his collar and got to work. Won a very impressive game against Alireza and now was on a 3-game winning streak. Momentum was definitely on his side. Fabiano also pulled himself back up, winning a very impressive game, and now the standings look like this. A 3-way tie for first place and Fabi so closely following behind. In the opening, it looked like Gukesh was getting cooked by Alireza's prep, but he managed to neutralize the attack, and when the queens were off the board, White was up a pawn. He soon pushed his 2 connected pass pawns to victory, getting a very important win in the penultimate round. Fabiano also capitalized on his chances with a brilliant show on his spot. Holding his nerves in and playing the game, he managed to secure another full point. Nepomniachtchi and Nakamura, equal on the leaderboards, neutralized each other on the chessboard and agreed to a draw. And going into the final round, it was very simple for Gukesh. He's going to be playing Nakamura. A win gets him over the line. All he had to do now was not lose.
Gukesh from India has 8.5. He's with the black pieces against Hikaru Nakamura, who has 8. Fabiano Caruana has white against Jan Nepomniachtchi, and they both have 8. If Gukesh wins, he wins the candidates. If Gukesh draws against Hikaru, the other game matters, and if Hikaru beats Gukesh, the other game matters.
We need to see a decisive result on this board for a chance to go to tiebreaks. It was very difficult to say who would win between Fabiano and Nepomniachtchi. Gukesh's game ended. It was a draw. Gukesh was now leading, but how much longer? Moving over to the other board, it was madness, with both players missing very important moves and keeping the eval bar on its toes. But in the end, no one was able to break through. And when the dust settled, one man emerged a winner, and it was Gukesh.